Hi everybody, welcome back to MelDidItHerself. Today I am going to outline the process for upcycling this piece. It's kind of vintage sideboard piece that I had gotten from a neighbor who was going to be throwing it out. I was able to salvage it and we're going to transform it today, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a different technique on it, one that I haven't done before, which is whitewashing. I've actually recently watched a video by another Canadian, salvaged by Katie Scott, and she was going over the process of how to do it, and it seemed very easy. This is what the product ended up looking like, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it gives it a bit of a coastal kind of beachy look, so let's just get right into it. I'll add a little plug in. If you're not already following me on Instagram, make sure you head over there and follow me at MelDidItHerself. I tend to post most of my content over there so you can get more upcycling before and afters, tips and tricks, and just kind of my day-to-day shares. So like I said, I got this piece for free from a neighbor and it was in very good condition. What I decided to do was to take off that door and all of the hardware and then sand it right down to the bare wood. You can see because it's square shelves on the inside there, I wasn't able to get right into the corners and at the very back of the shelves because it's an orbital sander and it's circular and the shelves are rectangular. So that was annoying, but additionally, I wasn't able to sand down the backing because it was kind of like a plywood sort of situation, thinner, not like solid wood like the rest of the piece. So I figured I'd just give it a go and whitewash the whole thing and see how it ends up turning out. So for whitewashing, essentially what you're doing is taking a chalk-based paint and you're watering it down, and what that does is it makes it less opaque, and it actually allows it to dry slower. So I'm using the Rustoleum chalked paint in the color linen white, and I'm doing about 1 to 2 or 3 ratio of paint to water. So I did about 1/3 to 1/4 of the cup paint, and then added the rest water and just kind of mixed it up until it looked to be the right consistency. You want it watery, but you still want there to be enough pigment to actually color the wood. So you can see I'm just kind of eyeballing it and mixing it up, and then when it got to the desired consistency, which you can kind of see here, I just went for it. I will say it's better to start more diluted and then add more paint as opposed to the opposite, because you can always add more layers if needed, but if it's too paint-y and not wet enough, it could be hard to wipe it off after. So I would say err on the side of caution and add a little bit more water than maybe you think. Try it out, and then worst case, you can always add a little bit more paint. So the process of whitewashing is very simple. I'm just painting this watered down paint mixture onto the piece. I'm using small sections at a time, just so that it doesn't fully dry, but putting it on the entire top piece and kind of trying to get that trim edging a bit. And then I'm grabbing just an old bath towel that I have, because it's a water-based paint. When I wash this towel, it's going to be fine, but I'm not using like the nicest ones that we have or anything. But you just want something that's lint-free and absorbent. If you have lint-free cloths, that's even better. And just wiping it off, kind of moving around the towel as I wipe to make sure that it's a dry part of the towel that I'm wiping with. And I'm wiping in the direction of the grain of the wood. And so what that's doing is it's pushing the watered down mixture into the wood grain, but it's taking away any of the excess. And so what it leaves is just exactly what it sounds like, a whitewash on your wood. Because it was starting with bare wood, it's very absorbent. Because it had been sanded down, the wood particles are prepared to take on that wash. So it worked really well. And then I would recommend doing one coat and letting it fully dry and then coming back and seeing what it looks like, because it does become a little bit more white as it dries completely and the wood grain dries down. So I started by doing all of the flat parts, how do I say that? The bases of the shelves, as well as the top. And then I also ended up doing the sides of the piece as well and wiped them all off. And then also the base that you can see at the bottom there. So I did try and do the backing, like I said, that plywood piece. It didn't work as well as I wanted it to. It still looks a lot darker than the rest of the piece, so I just ended up pulling off that plywood piece anyways. And I think it really helps to make more flow within the piece too. So I'm very happy that I made that decision. Here's it all styled up, and I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it's ready for resale. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching.